Yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to. They say it's a bad idea to swear within the first minute of a video. Oh my goodness.
I love this game.
All right, so it's me and it's Ben.
Hi.
I'm Scott. That's Ben, and we're playing Castlevania for a little bit right now because Ben just finished watching the Netflix show and he liked it a lot.
I don't know what the buttons on this controller are.
Simon, no.
What I'm pressing what I imagine to be the start key.
Sometimes on the menu, this thing just gives a little bit of trouble. Yeah. There you go. Oh my god.
When was the last time you played this game?
I actually probably haven't sat down and played this since Lucas and I were children.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. The original Castlevania was not like a big part of my childhood.
It wasn't really for me either, but like I have played it and beat it because I found a website that let you play a bunch of NES games in browser.
Oh, no way.
And so I just beat Castlevania.
Nice.
And a bunch of other games. I beat Contra and Zelda 2 and stuff.
Oh, okay.
I've already taken damage. That's pretty much it for me.
Oh, wait, does that mean the run's no good or what?
No, I mean, when you're attacking enemies that are moving in a straight line towards you with a ranged weapon, like, and you're already taking damage there, it's just, all I'm saying is it's a bad look.
It's not a great look. It's a worse feel, I think, though.
Yeah, probably.
No, I don't know.
I got this kick-ass whip, though.
I mean, this is the original Simon Belmont whip. Where's the cross you're gonna chuck?
I don't know where any of the good items are. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Right. That's why we're not playing the whole game. It's funny, actually, just seeing this being played now after, again, not having played it within cognizant memory. Not too long ago, I picked up, what was it, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon? Yes, I believe I got that right. Basically, Igarashi, the guy who is responsible for Castlevania. Man, it's that wall turkey. Everybody loves it.
Apparently, they tried really hard to get that in the anime, but they couldn't figure out how to
not make it be a tonally dissonant nonsense.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, Igarashi did what Inafune did. Inafune being the gentleman who people attribute Mega Man with.
And Mighty Number 9.
Well, I'm getting there. Inafune did the Kickstarter for Mighty Number 9 because he said he was going to, revisit his great, successes of his career and bring Mega Man back to the people. And then it got funded and came out bad.
And he didn't do that.
And then he disappeared. He went into hiding, never to be heard from again.
That's not true.
Well, there was the whole other thing that he did, but
Red Ash. He did Red Ash, broke my heart as a Mega Man Legends fan.
There you go. But Igarashi, or Iga, as he goes by, did the same thing where he was like, I want to make a new Castlevania, but I don't own Castlevania anymore, so I'm going to do a Kickstarter. And he kickstarted Bloodstained.
And by now people knew better and didn't fund it, or was it actually good?
They funded it because he was like, I'm going to make a Castlevania game, you guys. And what's more is, if we hit the stretch goals, I'm going to make Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, which is going to be like an original Castlevania, like a Super Nintendo NES throwback prequel that's going to be its own game. And he blew past his funding, so Curse of the Moon has been out for a while now.
Yeah.
And it looks and plays exactly like this. It is
Scott, what's the X
so
button?
Cool. I don't know, man. Try your bumpers, maybe? Try...
Can we just pretend that I threw a bunch of axes at him?
Yeah, it was an impressive amount of axes.
And then he died?
Maybe your select button?
That would be a terrible thing for me.
Yeah, it would be. It's none of those face buttons, huh?
It's not a single... I think I pressed every button on this controller. That's start, okay.
That's start, alright. I think that we may be in a tight spot.
If I can get a hit in. I have the perfect weapon, but I can't throw it.
Maybe Bloodstained Curse of the... Maybe...
Oh,
there it is. Is it up?
It is
attack?
It is up and whip.
See, now I should have remembered that because that's exactly how the special weapons work in Bloodstained Curse of the Moon.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So Curse of the Moon's a dope-ass game. It's really good, and it's crazy having played that more recently than I had played this and seeing this now, because it's like, wow, he really emulated that game effectively.
Yeah. Oh, shit. This one's even worse.
It's a bad look. Come on.
I have less hearts now, too, because I died.
You got the axe back, though.
It always confused me when I first played it. The hearts were ammo, not like...
Yeah, that is weird. Well, you got a good first hit in, which is not something we can say for your last run.
I meant to throw an axe. I did some damage on the last run. I thought I was
right
gonna
at
win.
the end, right at the end, right before you died.
Yeah.
It's a good hit.
See, I love that the axe is like the perfect... I didn't mean to walk up the stairs. I wanted to throw an axe. I gotta stay away from that side of the screen, I think.
It's a bad spot for you, Ben. Nice. Yeah, you're even.
Oh, now I'm winning.
I wasn't going to say anything just in case it psyched you out. Beauty.
Oh, I get fucked.
That's what you get. You gotta do it.
You gotta
do it. I guess nobody who's watching this is going to be uninitiated, but for the uninitiated, it is, I guess, accepted etiquette in this game where once you pick up the red orb, you gotta jump and whip.
Yeah, every time.
Every time.
The cross. Great.
Nice. Nice.
I'm gonna try to not use it until I get a little more hearts in me.
Very good. So yeah, basically just finishing up that thought, Igarashi put out what people were hoping for in relation to Mega Man, but in relation to Castlevania.
But it was good, though,
He made a super, super solid little mini Castlevania throwback as a prequel, and it's a free prequel to anybody who backed the Kickstarter, but it's available to anybody now.
Yeah.
And it's just an awesome game, and he's wrapping up production on the actual finished product, too. So, and the finished product is a throwback to the more recent Castlevania games, so it doesn't have this, like, reduced sort of 4-colored pixel sprite thing, you know, like this very, very retro style.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more
kind of more
looking.
like the Game Boy Advance, like, whoa! Listen, that one's on me. Sort of more like the Game Boy Advance, like DS ones, kind of.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe that I get off of it. But
that's cool.
It's a good look that the initial, like, hey, here's me doing just the baby version came out as good as it did.
No, I'm actually like, I didn't know about this, and now I'm gonna look into it when I get home, and then maybe I'll have more Castlevania to play.
There you go. Yeah, that Castlevania show is pretty good, hey?
It's real good.
It's a pretty good one, in my opinion.
My big thing, though, is, like, where's Grant? Because
he was the fourth character,
three
right?
playable characters. They have, like, 3 out of 4 playable characters. No Grant, though.
And he was, like, the rogue thief character, right?
Yeah. He's the guy, he's like, I move very fast and jump high. Because, like, I mean, like, there's only so many lines of dialogue you have per character.
In a game like that, yeah. Did you hear, though, that the gentleman who's responsible for producing the show, he's the showrunner, so he's not the writer and he's not the director, but he's the guy who basically put the team together. The Nick Fury of the Castlevania Netflix TV show has been greenlit to do a follow-up with Devil May Cry.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, so he's doing another anime.
That's
and
cool.
He also apparently has been in discussions with the company that owns the IP rights for, or the distribution rights for, Berserk.
Oh, I mean, Berserk was obviously a huge influence on the Castlevania, right?
100%, yeah.
Why did that kill me? Why couldn't I just roll down the stairs a little bit?
Because that's not a dignified look for a true hero.
Ooh. Okay, well, at least I have the worst weapon in the game.
At least there's that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Another thing about Bloodstained Curse of the Moon is that instead of having
a shitty dagger.
Well, no. There's all sorts of shitty weapons and really good weapons, but there's a character swap.
I tried to just jump straight up.
Try it again.
I will. Don't mind if I do. At least now I get the cross again.
But yeah, basically at the end of each level, you unlock a new character.
Yeah.
And then by the end, there are 4 characters.
Yeah.
And you get to swap between the characters by hitting the bumpers. So you can just live swap from character to character, and each one has different things that they can do to interact in the world.
Yeah.
So your main guy is your Belmont. He's got his whip. He's got his main powers and all that, and he's got a pretty good health bar, like a pretty sizable health bar. And then the second character you unlock has like slides and wall jumps and like way more movement abilities.
I would probably play as the second character.
She's my favorite.
Basically exclusively.
But she has less health, so you got to be more footsies with your attacking.
Yeah.
Then there's a character he's like a super high magic output mage character who can like magically transform things into other things and do all sorts of shit. And then the last one is basically a vampire, and his whole like.
So what I'm hearing is it's Castlevania 3 Again edition.
It's kind of Castlevania 3 the Again edition, yeah. But yeah, the Alucard in Curse of the Moon, that's gonna be the hill you die on, huh?
I mean, I've done it 3 times.
Why not Zoidberg? But yeah, the Alucard character literally turns into a bat, and so you get to do like flight mechanics.
I'm pretty sure Alucard can do that in Symphony of the Night, right?
I'm thinking, yeah.
I haven't actually spent a lot of time with that game.
Nor have I.
Okay. The goal here is to get past that one part.
Anything beyond getting past that part is bonus on top of what's already a net success, in my humble opinion. What's your favorite vampire media that isn't Castlevania, Ben?
I'm definitely a Twilight guy.
Team Edward and Team Jacob.
Edward, obviously, it's vampires.
That's true.
No, I'm kidding. I've never watched or read any of the books. Can't say I dislike it. Can't say I like it either.
You know what is a true thing about me that is just a truth that I'm going to tell you about right now?
What's that?
I saw the first Twilight movie in theaters 3 separate times.
What, like on purpose? Or
No. I didn't pay for a single ticket. Why'd you do that one?
Because you can't change. You can't.
Yeah, I know.
Parks.
Once you start moving, once you pop, you just can't stop. There we go.
As soon as you're in the air, you're fucking married to whatever direction you're headed in.
Exactly. There's an unfortunate direction to pick, but you kind of gotta just roll with it.
Okay, well, we're just gonna walk away from this guy.
I like his walk cycle. He looks very silly.
Simon?
Yeah.
I like that he looks like he looks like he knows what he's doing and where he's going.
Yeah, that's true.
Like he's a man on a mission.
But yeah, I saw Twilight in theaters 3 times. I was dragged.
That's happened twice to me in a row.
It's happened a total of 3 times, to be honest.
Sure, well.
But yeah, I never watched any of the other Twilight movies, but a friend of mine in high school saw the last one and said, it's hilarious. It's like if all of the X-Men sucked and started karate chopping each other's heads off.
Oh.
And I was like, that sounds like a different movie than I would have expected.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite vampire media other than Castlevania?
Good vampire story, good vampire.
Does the Myotismon arc of Digimon count? Motherfucker!
I'm gonna let you count that. I'm gonna let you count Myotismon. Because he, big fucking vampire, right?
He's definitely a vampire.
Yeah.
I will be honest with you, being not the kind of guy that watches a lot of spooky stuff, I'm pretty unfamiliar with like a lot of vampire media.
Okay.
So,
when I was getting into comic books properly, I wasn't reading a lot of superhero stuff when I started reading comic books. It just like I didn't know where to start, and in my hometown, the place that you bought comic books was either you bought trade paperbacks from Chapters.
Okay.
Actually, it was a Kohl's to show you how small of a small town it is. Or you bought comic books from the cigarette shop. There's a cigarette shop called Chow's Varieties.
Chow's Varieties.
And Chow's Varieties had big back, like the back wall was all comic books.
Yeah.
So it was like hockey cards, cigarettes, nicotine, bait and tackle. For fishing, and then comic books at the back wall. So it was limited, and I didn't really know where to allocate my my finances.
That's the shop of a man that's found his niche.
Exactly. He knew that there were a handful of roles that needed filling in this town, and he was like, I'm gonna fill all of them.
I'll just take the comic, cigarette, hockey card shop. That'll be my thing.
And bait and tackle. And hunting licenses if you need them.
What if you don't need them?
Most people already had them, so it was just like a backup, I guess. But the first graphic novel series that I sat down and waited for the next one to come out
Yeah.
Was 30 Days of Night.
Uh-huh.
You familiar at all?
I've heard of it, I think.
So the basic premise of the original graphic novel, which I still stand by, I think the original 30 Days
Shit.
of Night is an awesome story, an awesome book.
Yep.
That's okay.
I didn't die for it.
You didn't die. Exactly.
But I do have the fucking stopwatch instead of my wicked awesome cross.
Which is not ideal. But yeah, basically it takes place in a, I think, fictional town called Beryl, Alaska.
Beryl, Alaska.
And Beryl is one of the places in Alaska that it falls on the, I guess, latitudinal plane to the point where during winter there's literally 30 entire days where the sun goes down and does not come back up.
Oh, God.
And so this, like, squad of shitbag vampires are like, yeah, we're the smartest. We're going to show them we're not anything to fuck with. And it's in a world where vampires exist, and there's, like, a council of vampires, and there's a lot of political structure for vampire culture, but we don't know it.
Right.
But then these guys decide to go rogue, and they're like, we'll feed for a month! And
if you're a vampire, like, living in a place in Alaska where there's only... Actually, can I use the stopwatch on those things?
Shitty stopwatch, he says. Wow!
I trusted the stopwatch.
But yeah, basically, and then the rest of the story is, it's a story of survival for the characters associated.
Holy water.
Where you've got the two sheriffs who are a married couple. I believe it's Eben and Stella were their names, I believe. Eben, short for Ebenezer, but of course in the movie adaptation, they thought nobody would understand that Eben's a real name, so they changed it to Ethan. Stupid. But they, it's them trying to help the people who haven't already been devoured by hordes of cold vampires survive for 30 full days without any assistance. So,
all right,
it's a pretty cool little story.
But yeah, no, I'm into that.
And the artwork was done by a comic book artist who I really like. I believe it was Ben Templesmith. He's a very talented chap. But then, as far as excellent vampire stories are concerned, are you familiar at all with a little thing I like to call What We Do in the Shadows?
Yeah, dude. Oh, okay. I didn't know as we were counting. I didn't remember that, but now that you mentioned that, yeah, favorite vampire media, What We Do in the Shadows.
I think that might be the best vampire movie I've ever seen, because not only is it like a 10-on-10 comedy, it's also like, it's not like vampires suck or Stan Helsing or anything like that, like those dumb parody movies that just like, the joke is that the vampires are dumb or whatever. It's like in this, the vampires have the powers. Like there's no doubt about the fact that the vampire sucks blood and can, transform and all that stuff. It's just like the hilarious situations that arise out of the culture shock of being from when they're from versus living where they are now. And that is the best friggin' thing in the entire...
Best freaking thing in the entire...
like, it's the best vampire story. It's just so good.
Yeah, no, it's... Shit, dude.
It's a good-ass movie. Did you hear that they were working on workshopping a second movie, but they're now making a TV series instead, but the original sequel was going to be about the werewolf support group.
Yeah,
and it was going to be called Werewolves.
Werewolves.
Yeah. And now they're doing a TV show, and
holy water?
No.
It was. Because I definitely think I need that for this boss. Or, if I could just keep my fucking brain in my goddamn head.
Are we all the way back? That's okay. It's okay.
We're
You're going to do a clean run this time.
I'm going to do one more try. Better every time. I haven't played this game in literally years.
But yeah, the finished concept for the TV show is, how in What We Do in the Shadows, there were all these sequences where the police would show up and they would like try to posit explanations, very logical and reasonable explanations as to, what happened at the scene of a crime. Yeah. They're like the guys being mauled to death by the dogs, and they just like find a stray dog, and they're like, "Guess this skull's gonna have to be put down."
It must have been him. Yeah. I remember the vampires hypnotize him at one point because they get like a noise complaint or something.
Yeah, they get a noise complaint while they have killed a vampire hunter who has set fire to their oldest friend Peter.
Right. Yes.
But yeah, I guess the show is going to be about these police officers primarily, and the periphery is going to be all of the supernatural bullshit going on around them, and it's going to be them like making regular human sense of all of the insane things that are happening.
Oh god, that's gonna be so good. Is it out? Like, is that like a show I can watch right now?
I do not think it is at this point. At the time of this recording, I think they're still in post-production for the show. I guess Taika Waititi's probably not going to be making his way back to that project anytime soon, what with him being the director of Thor Ragnarok, and now he's associated with the Mandalorian TV project for Star Wars.
I hadn't heard of that one.
Oh yeah, they shit-canned the Boba Fett movie because Solo did so poorly critically, so instead they're making a movie about a Mandalorian bounty hunter, not Boba Fett, called The Mandalorian.
Okay.
And instead of a movie, it's a TV show. So,
all right.
And it's for when Disney starts their own Disney exclusive streaming Netflix product.
You little Medusa bitch. I am listening to you. It's just every now and then.
That's okay. I'm trying to fill the space where, you know, when you're getting all caught up in the moment.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing about those shows for like when they're on TV, I just feel like less interested in them. Mm-hmm. It's just harder to care when it's not on a giant, like 30-foot tall screen. You know?
It's true. It's true. Some movies benefit greatly from the spectacle. Like John Krasinski's directorial debut, A Quiet Place.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That is a really great movie. It's, you know, it's got some logical fallacies. You really got to sell yourself on the initial premise of the movie without...
There's some disbelief, like suspend.
Some hard suspension of that disbelief, yeah. But as far as the actual execution of the film is concerned, it's great. It's a great little movie, right?
I've never seen it because it's a spooky movie and I don't do those.
It's a great little movie, trust me.
I do. If there's any one person that I have a very high opinion of your opinion of horror movies, it's definitely you.
There we go. I appreciate that.
If you tell me a horror movie's good, I will just believe you.
And you won't ever try to fact check me.
Nope, I won't.
But watching A Quiet Place in the theater was a huge, huge mistake because that movie requires a certain... the sound needs to be sucked out of the room.
Right.
Like, you need to sit there and really be sitting to watch and paying attention. But what the people who do in the movie theaters, what they do is they spend a lot of time...
It undid itself while I had my head in the spikes. Yeah. But yeah, go on. Spend a lot of time.
Eating snacks, talking over the movie, and being horrible human beings, because going to the movies is hard.
Yeah.
So, Quiet Place is not a movie I would ever recommend seeing in the theater. Not that people have to worry about that anymore, because it's out on DVD.
Yeah.
But then there's something like... I'm trying to think of a recent example. I guess Avengers Infinity War. I'm not really going to ever watch that at home, I don't think, but it was awesome to see in the theater.
Oh, totally. I saw it twice.
It was a good movie.
Great movie.
Enjoyed it. I mean, it wasn't Justice League good.
I mean, that's not wrong. It wasn't Justice League good. It was actually good.
Oh! People are going to know that we're Marvel fanboys. We're just Marvel shills.
Just Marvel shills.
Yep. Come on.
I thought you could whip the fireballs. You can whip the fireballs if you have better timing than me, but...
That's fine. You just gotta get good.
I think I might actually have a snowball's chance in hell at this.
Man, this music. It is so good.
I like the story of Castlevania 3's music.
What's the story?
They added the special chip to the cartridge itself.
Oh, so to expand the sound chip that was actually in the hardware?
And that is what the music in Shovel Knight is based on.
Ah,
so that's why it sounds
sense.
like NES music, but it's a lot like just fuller.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Wasn't it the Sega Genesis that had the insanely good sound chip? It was one of the Sega consoles that had like a better sound chip than it had any right to have, or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Woo!
Hey, look at that snowball in hell. Jump and whip! Jump and whip!
Yeah. Yeah, one of those older consoles just has like a wicked, super good sound chip.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure it was one of the Sega systems. It might have been even the Dreamcast. No, it was one of the cartridge ones. Master System or Genesis. I'm locking it in.
Sure. Let's do it.
Man, these environments are just...
They just pop. They just jump out
Exactly. And it's not like they pop like they're too busy or anything like that.
I
They
knew
just,
it.
like, look populated.
Yeah.
Also, that is clearly the skull of a xenomorph.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what else it could be. Come on,
What about one of the aliens from Indiana Jones and the
Did I
Kingdom
just
of the Crystal
despawn
Skull?
him?
Yes.
I didn't realize that was a thing. He's onto me.
Yikes. What a guy.
Can't get me in my little house, though.
You did miss my very good bit, though.
Sorry?
That's either the skull of a xenomorph or the skull of one of the aliens from Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Oh.
There you go. See, that one I had to...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I let it slip by me.
That's okay.
It's a good bit.
It was, I felt pretty good about that one.
Birds. I hate birds.
God, this looks like some of the environments from Castlevania the Adventure. But, like, good. Good versions of that.
Birds are the NES player's nemesis.
It's true. In that, that Souls-like, Castlevania-like, rogue-like, Binding of Isaac-like, Dead Cells. The birds are as annoying as they've ever been in a Super Nintendo or NES game.
Yeah. Shit. Well, whatever.
The axe is pretty good.
That's not bad. Yeah, there's just anything where there's like if you have to make a jump and there's a thing that can fly and it's like
And there's knockback.
ready to come down at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Metroid games, probably not so big a deal because there's like much less knockback. I hate Medusa heads.
Oh shit. Yeah, one of the things with
I should have thrown an axe.
you shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Where am I now?
Ben, if its and buts were shoulds and coulds.
I'd have a nice ass.
Hey yo. But yeah, one of the other things I was going to mention about the Curse of the Moon, Bloodstained, is there are two difficulties that you can select when you start the game up initially.
Yeah.
And one of them is lower damage from enemies and no hitback.
Oh, that's such a good difficulty.
Which, yeah, it's like, if you just want to play the game to see the game, play it on this one
Yeah.
first.
But the thing is, whenever they add those, I can never bring myself to do them. I'm
Well,
like, oh, that's the easy
normal
baby mode.
difficulty.
Oh, that's normal?
Yeah, that's normal. And then hard it's like classic mode or something like that,
Yeah.
because it's super punishing pushback on hits and way higher enemy damage.
Yeah. Just come at me, dude. I'm not fucking doing it.
You know what I think is criminally underrated vampire media?
What's that?
The original Blade, starring Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
No.
Oh man, it's so of the 90s, like in that same way that The Matrix feels of the 90s.
Yeah, The Matrix is one of those things where it's just like, we're hacking into the mainframe kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
oh yeah. Just 5 more seconds and I'll be behind the firewall.
Yeah.
But there's this incredible line. It's probably one of the best lines ever spoken by anybody who's lived on this planet. Where, you know how action movies sort of 80s and 90s and sort of petering off towards the end of the 90s.
Yeah.
A big thing was the zinger before the final blow or whatever. Like the big good guys
Or
fighting
the
big
one-liner right after it.
Exactly. It's either before or after, and it was always like if it was before, it was right before they pulled the trigger or like sliced the thing or whatever, and if it was after, it was like a huge explosion happens or something
Or
like that.
maybe Arnold Schwarzenegger has wedged a pipe through you and pinned you to a steam boiler
Let off some
and
steam.
then says, let off some steam.
Yeah, or Arnold Schwarzenegger has thrown a dagger in your shoulder and pinned you to a wall and said, "Stick around." Oh, that's pretty good. That's Predator. Uh-oh.
I shouldn't have jumped. Oh, I almost died twice.
But in Blade is fighting the evil, conniving, in industry vampire Deacon Frost, which is a pretty cool name for a vampire.
Deacon Frost, good name.
Yeah, and he is played by Steven Dorff, who has been in not a lot of like big things, but he was also a child actor in one of my favorite like hokey Gremlins-ass horror films called The Gate, where some kids find a gate to hell in their backyard and accidentally let the demons out.
Oh, you know how you can just do that, right? Just
It
find a
happens.
gate to hell in your backyard? It happens
Yeah.
all the time. Big problem, actually.
Common, one might even say. But Steven Dorff plays Deacon Frost, and Blade is just about to kill Deacon Frost. And it's like he's turned into like a super vampire because of some ancient ritual where like Blade cuts him in half at one point and his body splits in half, and then like bad CG blood pulls his body back together and they keep fighting.
Fuck yes.
And he's about to like kick a vial full of vampire cure into the guy and then like blow him up with a shotgun or whatever.
Yeah.
And he says, this is stupid. He turns to Deacon Frost and he goes, "Some motherfucker's always trying to ice skate uphill."
What? What does it even... I mean, it would be harsh, sure. But, like, what does that mean?
So, the story behind the line is, I guess, they were doing, like, a team meeting, doing a script read and working out some of the kinks and stuff like that in the story. And the writer, who I believe was David Ayer, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not going to correct myself,
and I don't know. So.
Was sitting with the director, and somebody was like bringing up a bunch of like sort of needlessly difficult additions to their list of things that they need to do. Like somebody was just like, "Oh, but if we do that, we'll have to also consider this." Like,
yeah.
And then Wesley Snipes just, as an aside, said, "Some motherfucker's always trying to ice skate uphill," and the writer and the director were like, "That's the coolest thing anybody's ever said. Put it in the movie."
Put it in the movie.
And Wesley Snipes said, "No, please don't make me say that again." And they were like, "It's already shipped."
First try, dude.
Nice. Jump
I just fucking crushed it.
Jump and whip, jump and whip, jump and whip.
I'm way better at this game than I thought I was going to be, and I'm not very good.
I mean, you started a little rocky, but you've been playing consistently. It's pretty good. Proud of you.
Thanks, bro.
How much of this game is left at this point?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, a bit.
A bit.
3 bosses. One of them is Dracula, though.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's an NES noise if I ever heard one.
That is so good. I mean, how long to beat? Are we? Are we?
How long? I mean, like, how long have we been playing?
Half hour.
All right, let's next game over. Call it.
All right, yeah. Next game over, we are going to
play a different game.
Play a different game. We'll rate Castlevania.
That was bullshit,
not great.
and the merman knows it.
Is that a merman or is that like a creature from the
Fish
Black
man,
Lagoon?
creature from the Black Lagoon?
Oh, it's the Shape of Water.
Oh, that's gotta be it.
This is what happens in the
that one could have been avoided.
Birds.
Birds, yeah, it's always birds. They probably have the highest. Like, if I was an NES villain, no, I knew it. I knew it. It was fine.
That was close. That was dicey.
That was dicey.
Gravity.
All right, there we go.
All right. Ben, I mean, this is old hat at this point, but why don't you go ahead and rate Castlevania?
I give it 5 birds out of 5.
All right. I'm going to give it 1 motherfucker out of always trying to ice skate uphill.